Welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Ormark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And we're in week 5 of our 12 weeks of Handmade Christmas and ideas for you. And we're doing things to do with Father Christmas. So I thought we would take this little image here. And there are a lot of these sorts of images about, so I'm sure if you haven't got this particular one, you'll have something similar. It's from Holiday Home, which was a long time ago, but it's Father Christmas flying through the sky with his sacks Christmas Eve, you know, with his sleigh full of presents, and I thought that makes a lovely silhouette. So I thought we would make 3 different ideas. I've just done from the circle die, so any circles you've got, but I've taken the largest scalloped one and I've taken some that give enough to give quite a nice little border on there. Okay, so we're going to do 3 different ones because then I thought it would give you an idea of what you can do. Now you can have these as on your card fronts, you can have these as toppers, you can have them as tags, you can do whatever you want with them, but I thought that we would just start with a few sort of ideas. So let's take the first one out, and I'm going to do I've got sponge daubers and I've got blending brushes. So again, and I've just got a mixture of colours. We'll see what comes out as I go. So I need a green. This green is Pear Pizzazz, so it's a fairly soft green, which is quite nice. And we are just going to and I'm doing this with a sponge dauber on this one. So we're just taking it down with a little bit of the green on the bottom, and we'll take it with some blue. I think probably Orchid Oasis is quite a nice sort of mid blue. So we'll take this with that one, and I'm turning it round the other way, and I'm just literally going to be sponging this on over the top. So we've got 2 colours coming in. Turn it round the other way. So I'm making it fairly dark at the top and a little bit just of the green at the bottom. And then we're going to, I just want to add a little bit of, and this is where I'll probably use my blending brush on this. I'm using some Tempting Turquoise because I want to take this blue just down a little bit. So by just putting this in, you can see you're getting some different colours coming through, and it just sort of breaks it up a little bit on there. So I think that will work fine. Now I'm going to take some of this is from Peaceful Deer. I want little tree images on here. So I'm going to take a couple of little trees. I don't want big trees because it's supposed to be, you know, night sky or evening time. And so I'm going to take that with I think I'm going to take it with the garden green, which is a bit darker, so hopefully that will give me some of these coming through. And I'm just going to put these, oh, that didn't come out very well, did it? That's better. So I'm just going to put these in and just fill this in with the trees. I need a smaller block. This block's a little bit big, but it'll be all right. A little bit on here, a bit on the top. So I'm doing some dark, some light. So first generation and second generation. And I'm just putting them down like that. So you've got your little tree images in on there, which I think looks quite sweet. And then let me just get my Simply Chamois to clean this off. Okay, so now I'm going to take my little person, where have I put it, under here, my little Father Christmas on his sleigh. There he is. And I'm hoping he'll fit on this one. Let's take those. I'm just going to put them on there and hopefully don't lose them. So this is just going to come across like this. And I'm going to take it in Starry Sky. So I'm not taking it in black because the sky isn't black on here. So I don't want it to stand out too much and for it to be... Now, I haven't used this one for a very long time, so I'm actually going to stamp it once down here to just make sure that it's coming. Yes, beautiful. Okay, so this is then just going to come right the way across the top like this. Okay, so you've now got your really quite simple little image on there, and that can then go straight onto the, let's clean this off a little bit. It's going to go straight onto the background, which is in on the silver like this. Okay, so that's going to give us one. I think it looks quite pretty on the silver, but because it's got silver on there, I want to just pick some of that up a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, now we've got, this is, let me see which ones I've got a couple of ones, I can't remember which one's the fullest, I've had these a while, which is just silver glitter glue. Now you can do embossed pieces, you can do, this is, just seeing how much I've got in each one of these, I don't know, I've had these quite a while, so let me just see that I've got some that's going to come out. Yes, I have. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to take just down on the bottoms of these trees so that it looks as if it's a bit frosty. I'm just going to draw just a little bit in on the trees so it makes it quite nice and sort of, you know, frosty evening like that. And then I'm just going to do some little tiny dots in the sky as the start of little twinkly stars and things coming out. Okay, so that's that one, and that's very simple to do. So let's do the second one. This one is going to be more, it's going to be darker colours, but we're going to have more of a some rich tones to it. So I want to do a tiny weeny little circle. So let me just have a look and see which is my, it's probably my smallest circle, and it's probably going to be a bit big, but we'll move it in a little bit, I think. So let me just see if I've got a little scrap of left over on these that I can do, we were using the other day for my first ones. Yes, I can just about get all I want is a little circle, and this is, what size is this? 1 inch, so it's probably a little bit big, but I think it'll work for this. So we're just going to put that in fairly sort of at the top. But first of all, I want to do, we're going to take a piece of paper on this as well. So let me just take a piece out of here. So I'm just going to take this from the end. There we go. It's actually torn perfectly. So we just need a little piece of paper on here. And then what I want to do is, I just want to take this down at the bottom to give a bit of an edge on here. And it is going to be, I'm going to start with the, I'm going to do purples and blues and things to make it a really sort of nice night sky. So we'll start with, let me just open these up, do it with some purple. So that's like a rich raspberry down on here. So hopefully you can see my hands from here. Whee! That didn't go very well, did it? I've just moved myself across on here. I wasn't holding it down very well. Okay, let's take it from there. I was trying to move my hand out of the way, and in doing so I just moved the sponged part of this in. So okay, so I'm doing a dark purple at the bottom, and then I want to take the, not the Starry Sky, we'll go for the Orchid Oasis, which is a little bit paler, and we'll just put a little bit more colour in. And this is all about building up colours here. So that's a blue one, isn't it? I'll put it in on this one. So I just want to take it in here, which will give more of a dark purpley sort of colour coming through. Okay, so this is coming down to the bottom part, and then we're going to take the purple out again and just build it up a little bit more. Whee! That slid down on there, didn't it? So you can see building up, it's giving quite a dark sort of purple colour. There's me nearly moving it across again. I think that'll probably be about right. It will now anyway. Okay, so we've now got this sort of really nice purpley bottom in on there. We need to take this on here for the top, and this is going to be starting in some yellows. And as I say, it's all Christmassy, but it's a matter of building up different tones and colours. So this is going to be the yellow one. Let me find a yellow that will work. Oh no, that's that's more of a yellow, isn't it? Right, okay, so this, I'm literally just holding it, because what I want to happen on here is for it to just come round the edge. This is, and I'm taking it down in a line through so that it comes quite nicely. So you can see it almost reflecting down on the moon, but I don't want it to be too dark. So I'm just taking this, what's left on here, and very carefully just putting some in like that so it's not too dark. Okay, now we want to take some of the blue. In fact, I want to take the paler blue first. So let's take this blue. In fact, and I've got some orange as well that might work. So this is Pale Papaya, and it's literally what I've got out. So just build up your own colours, having a look through and going like, oh yes, I like that, or no, I don't really like that a bit. So this is just coming in on the edge of this yellow on here. Now I'm not putting the mask back down again because I don't necessarily need to have it on there. So I'm just building this up round on here. Like that. In fact, I could take it into the edge. Let's take it right into the edge on this, and then we'll build the other colour up from it. Okay. So now it looks a bit cratery on the bottom, but that's fine because it is going to build up a bit on there. So now we're going to take this tempting turquoise, which is a nice sort of blue, and I'm starting from the edge now and just bringing it in the colours. Now this is going to look slightly green on here, but that's fine because as we bring in the other colours, it's going to work really quite well. So literally just from the edge, bringing in, because I quite like it, just bring it in a little bit more on there. Then we're going to go darker still. So now we're going to go into the Starry Sky, which is the lovely dark blue. So with this one, I need to take some of these are really quite dark, aren't they? I think that's yes, that's sort of Starry Sky. So now with this, I'm taking it from the edge and bringing it in. So I'm doing it all the way around. And it's going to come in just across the edge of this moon. So it's looking as if it's right up against the sun coming through. I'm going to take this all the way down on the bottom. So it's coming in nice and dark, and then I just want to take this part through on here. And I think that's probably, let's try again I'm doing it in the Starry Sky because I want it to be slightly darker. And we're going to put this over the top like that. So it comes through and it's quite sort of misty moonlight sort of feel to it. And again, this is going to just go straight onto the silver like that. But it gives you a real sort of twinkly look to it. And again, if you want to have, let's look at this in, put that one next to that one. So we've got no trees or anything there. We've just got the bottom with the sun and the pieces coming up. But on this one, we need to make this a little bit more sort of frosty. So I expect a lot of you have got, and I'm going to use it because it's easier. You just grab it. Always difficult to find what you're looking for. Right. Now, we don't do these anymore, do we? Now, where is it? Stamping glitter, which is a really lovely, real twinkly on there. And what I want to do is to create a lot of sort of twinkles coming down in on the bottom. So with this, used it for such a long time, Dazzling Diamonds. Look at the colours of that, absolutely beautiful. So with this, what I wanted to do was to just put, now I can do it with some, where are we? I just need to put a little bit of, I can put this glue down in on here, and then I'm going to pour it in over the top because it just adds that little sort of sparkliness to it. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this, bring this across like this, and then just bring some bits sort of in round on here, just in on the edge, quite sort of random. And then I'm going to take the glitter, put it in here on the pot. And you can see on this is giving it a real twinkly look to it. Need to try and get it off on here without it going everywhere, otherwise I'll have bits everywhere. But you can see on there you've got quite a lot of twinkliness, and as I say, if you've got some of the old Dazzling Diamonds, which is say things don't wear out, they don't, you know, as a demonstrator I do show you new products and things that are coming out, but you know, this year from what everybody's been saying, you know, we're trying to be a little bit more frugal this year. We're trying to be a little bit more careful with what we've got, and this is a way of doing it. Okay, so that's two of them. So we've got this one. Let me just put him on here. So we've got, that's the first one. This is the second one. That, as I say, I'm going to put it over here to just dry off a minute, which is this one. I'll just take it to just dry off a little bit. That's that one, which again is a different feel. And then I'm going to do one more, which is all about, let's take that one off because that's a bit scrubbly. Okay, so this one is going to be all about embossing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to very simply just colour or do the whole of the background of this in Starry Sky. Oh, I shouldn't have scrubbled that thing on there, should I? Never mind. Okay, so this is literally, and you could take a piece of Starry Sky if you wanted to. I'm just showing you ways of doing it with what you've got. So just all the way round. Excuse me. Little squeaky noise this one makes. Okay, so that's given us our background in this, and what I can do is, I always like toning two in, so I'm just going to tone in some of this tempting turquoise to give some undertones of the blue coming through. which hopefully you can actually see just coming through a little bit. Just fills in those tones coming through. So, you know, try and do, when you're sponging to get a card, try and do it in the two colours. Okay, so with this one, what I need to do is I'm going to take my heat tool, and you can see I'm doing this always. I always think of things as I'm doing them, so it comes sort of off the hoof. Not always lots of planning, because I think for me that's the way I work the best. So I need to get, we're using silver this time because we've got the silver background, and we're using silver embossing powder. So again, it's the sort of thing that I'm sure we've got it in our stash. So this is an embossing buddy. Basically, it's a little bag, and the bag needs to be filled with, you can see on here it's coming out lots, corn flour, something really fine. Corn flour is one of the easiest ways of doing it, and just by doing that, it stops it static and stuff coming on now, and it will make it lighter afterwards. You also need Versamark, and so what we're going to do is I am going to do the Father Christmas first. The reason I'm doing that is I want to be able to put some stars and things behind and around, but I don't want to, because this is quite a fine detail, I don't want it to, and you can see it coming through quite clearly on that, I don't want it to detract from that. If I put a star behind that reindeer, it's not going to show up, or it's going to look like a blob, and so it's not going to work particularly well. So I think this will work perfectly. So we're just going to take this out, and this is some of my embossing powders. I have little pots and spoons, and silver is one of them because silver is what I use the most. So we'll just put that over the top like that, tap it off, give it a good, so we've got no other bits coming on, and you can see even though I'd only just sponged it, because I've put a good amount of embossing buddy on there, you can't see it. So I'm just heating up my heat gun off camera just a second, so there will be a noise, but hopefully it won't distract you too much. And then I'm just going to heat it up, and you'll be able to see it will start changing and going silver. Which is lovely. Okay, so now you can see that beautiful silver on there. Now I'm going to do some of the little trees again, because I quite liked that tree. So let's take the Santa Claus off because I don't need that anymore. Put the little tree on, and I can then start to build up the trees down at the bottom. So let's just, and again you can see it's quite good when you've put a lot of embossing buddy on, and you've got a dark colour underneath, you can see it coming through. Okay, so I'm just doing it across. I'm not doing it underneath as well. I'm just doing it across on there. Again, I'm taking the silver. So rather than the other one where we did lights and darks, because we're embossing it, you don't really need to do that because it's not going to come, it's not going to show up. You only want to have the one strength of Versamark, because otherwise it won't work very well. I think I missed a little bit off that corner. That's better. Bit of a click. Okay, I can put that down on there, and we can take this piece off, and again I can just literally take so that's given a beautiful, beautiful silver on there as well. And then all I want to do is to do just a couple of little twinklies in the sky. And again, the Peaceful Deer, where we've got the trees from, has got these little twinkly stars. They're quite big, and that's why I said I didn't want to have too many of them, because they wouldn't look right against the Father Christmas, because the Father Christmas is quite small and delicate. So I'm going to be doing it sort of round the edge like that. Just very tiny little amounts. You can see I'm just doing a little bit round there. So that's all, and by doing it in little sections at a time, you can build up your image without it going, you know, too much. And it's quite easy to sometimes do too much, and you can see that if I got that star behind the reindeer, it would obliterate the detail of the reindeer completely, so I wouldn't have been able to see it. So just give that a little bit of a just making sure there's enough on there. If I do it too much, I flipped some of it off, I think, so that should be fine. Now I might end up, I haven't got any on the side, but those will give me just little twinkly stars like that. And then all I need to do is put my lid on, because otherwise if I don't put my lid on my pot, it'll end up going everywhere. So put this on. Okay, and then all I need to do is to just take a little bit of a cloth on here and take it so that I can get the dark colour coming through again, which I just need to do with a little cloth, which, if you bear with me a second, I should just get some. Just wanted a little bit of kitchen roll, so I can then just take that just a little bit, which takes it back to the darkness on there, and you can see, hopefully you can see how beautifully sparkly that one is. And then that can go in on the third one. I did do 3, didn't I? That's one. Let's take them back and see if I can find. I've got so many bits on here. As I said to you, I always do a week's worth at a time for this series, because then I'm in the right frame of mind to do all of those pieces at the same time. I can't find the third one. I will find it, because I know I've cut out 3, but in fact I've only got 1 now. Oh no, there's the other one. Okay, so we've got 3 different ideas. Here it is, it's tucked under there. I knew it was about somewhere. So I'm going to take the paper out of the way, and then we'll put them out so you can see that you can do all sorts of different things just with a silhouette. And these will work beautifully, as I say, on a card or on as a tag, top of a box, anything like that. And then you've got that one that's got the silver, which I hope, don't know how well that the silver shows up. It's always very difficult to see silver on there, but it really is there. If I hold it like that, you can see it's exactly the same as the silver. When I put it down, you lose it a little bit. But 3 different ideas. Hope you enjoyed them. As always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.